Virginia Woolf. Original name in full is Adeline Virginia Stephen, English writer whose novels, through their non-linear approaches to narrative, exerted a major influence on the genre. While she is best known for her novels, especially Mrs. Dalloway and To the Lighthouse, Woolf also wrote pioneering essays on artistic theory, literary history, women's writing, and the politics of power. A fine stylist, she experimented with several forms of biographical writing, composed painterly short fiction, and sent to her friends and family a lifetime of brilliant letters. Born on January 25th, 1882, Adeline Virginia Stephen was raised in a remarkable household. Her father, Sir Leslie Stephen, was a historian and author, as well as one of the most prominent figures in the golden age of mountaineering. Woolf's mother, Julia Prinsep Stephen, nee Jackson, had been born in India and later served as a model for several pre-Raphaelite painters. She was also a nurse and wrote a book on the profession. Both of her parents had been married and widowed before marrying each other. Woolf had three full siblings, Toby, Vanessa, and Adrian, and four half siblings, Laura Makepeace, Stephen and George, Gerald and Stella Duckworth. The eight children lived under one roof at 22 Hyde Park Gate, Kensington. Two of Woolf's brothers had been educated at Cambridge, but all the girls were taught at home and utilized the splendid confines of the family's lush Victorian library. Moreover, Woolf's parents were extremely well connected, both socially and artistically. Her father was a friend to William Thackeray, the father of his first wife, who died unexpectedly, and George Henry Lewes, as well as many other noted thinkers. Her mother's aunt was the famous 19th century photographer Julia Margaret Cameron. From the time of her birth until 1895, Woolf spent her summers in St. Ives, a beach town at the very southwestern tip of England. The Stephens' summer home, Talent House, which is still standing today. In fact, she incorporated scenes from those early summers into her modernist novel, To the Lighthouse. As a young girl, Virginia was curious, light-hearted, and playful. She started a family newspaper, the Hyde Park Gate News, to document her family's humorous anecdotes. However, early traumas darkened her childhood, including being sexually abused by her half brothers, George and Gerald Duckworth, which she wrote about in her essays, A Sketch of the Past and 22 Hyde Park Gate. In 1895, at the age of 13, she also had to cope with the sudden death of her mother from rheumatic fever, which led to her first mental breakdown and the loss of her half sister Stella, who had become the head of the household 2 years later. She was just emerging from depression when, in 1897, her half sister Stella Duckworth died at age 28, an event Virginia noted in her diary as impossible to write off. Then, in 1904, after her father died, Virginia had a nervous breakdown. Although Virginia expressed the opinion her father was her favorite parent, and although she had only turned 13 when her mother died, she was profoundly influenced by her mother throughout her life. It was Virginia who famously stated that for we think back through our mothers if we are women, and invoked the image of her mother repeatedly through her life in her diaries, her letters, and a number of her autobiographical essays, including Reminiscences, 22 Hyde Park Gate, and A Sketch of the Past. frequently evoking her memories with the words, I see her. She also alludes to her childhood in her fictional writing. In To the Lighthouse, the artist Lily Briscoe attempts to paint Mrs. Ramsay, a complex character based on Julia Stephen, and repeatedly comments on the fact that she was astonishingly beautiful. While dealing with her personal losses, Woolf continued her studies in German, Greek, and Latin at the Ladies' Department of King's College London. Her 4 years of study introduced her to a handful of radical feminists at the helm of educational reforms. Virginia Woolf's dance between literary expression and personal desolation would continue for the rest of her life. In 1905, she began writing professionally as a contributor to the Times Literary Supplement. A year later, Woolf's 26-year-old brother Toby died from typhoid fever after a family trip to Greece. After their father's death, Woolf's sister Vanessa and brother Adrian sold the family home in Hyde Park Gate and purchased a house in the Bloomsbury area of London. During this period, Virginia met several members of the Bloomsbury Group, a circle of intellectuals and artists, including the art critic Clive Bell, who married Virginia's sister Vanessa, the novelist E.M. Forster, the painter Duncan Grant, the biographer Lytton Strachey, economist John Maynard Keynes, and essayist Leonard Woolf, among others. The group became famous in 1910 for the Dreadnought hoax, a practical joke in which members of the group dressed up as a delegation of Ethiopian royals, including Virginia, disguised as a bearded man, and successfully persuaded the English Royal Navy to show them their warship, the HMS Dreadnought. After the outrageous act, Leonard Woolf and Virginia became closer and eventually they were married on August 10, 1912. The two shared a passionate love for one another for the rest of their lives. Several years before marrying Leonard, Virginia had begun writing on her first novel. The original title was Melimbrosia. After 9 years and innumerable drafts, it was released in 1915 as The Voyage Out. Woolf used the book to experiment with several literary tools, including compelling and unusual narrative perspectives, rhyme states, and free association prose. 2 years later, the Woolfs bought a used printing press and established Hogarth Press, their own publishing house, operated out of their home, Hogarth House. Virginia and Leonard published some of their writing, as well as the work of Sigmund Freud, Catherine Mansfield, and T.S. Eliot. A year after the end of World War I, the Woolfs purchased Monk's House, a cottage in the village of Rodmill, in 1919, and that same year Virginia published Night and Day, a novel set in Edwardian England. Her third novel, Jacob's Room, was published by Hogarth in 1922. Based on her brother Toby, it was considered a significant departure from her earlier novels with its modernist elements. That year, she met author, poet, and landscape gardener Vita Sackville West, the wife of English diplomat Harold Nicolson. Virginia and Vita began a friendship that developed into a romantic affair. Although their affair eventually ended, they remained friends until Virginia Woolf's death. In 1925, Woolf received rave reviews for Mrs. Dalloway. Her fourth novel, the mesmerizing story, interweaved interior monologue and raised issues of feminism, mental illness, and homosexuality in post-World War I England. Mrs. Dalloway was adapted into a 1997 film starring Vanessa Redgrave and inspired The Hours, a 1998 novel by Michael Cunningham, and a 2002 film adaptation. Her 1928 novel, To the Lighthouse, was another critical success and considered revolutionary for its stream of consciousness storytelling. The modernist classic examines the subtext of human relationships through the lives of the Ramsay family as they vacation on the island of Skye in Scotland. In 1929, Woolf published A Room of One's Own, a feminist essay based on lectures she had given at Women's College, in which she examines women's role in literature. In the work, she sets forth the idea that a woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. Woolf pushed narrative boundaries in her next work, The Waves, which she described as a play poem written in the voices of six different characters. Woolf published The Years, the final novel published in her lifetime in 1937, about a family's history over the course of a generation. The following year, she published Three Guineas, an essay which continued the feminist themes of A Room of One's Own and addressed fascism and war. Throughout her career, Woolf spoke regularly at colleges and universities, penned dramatic letters, wrote moving essays, and self published a long list of short stories. By her mid 40s, she had established herself as an intellectual, an innovative, and an influential writer and pioneering feminist. Her ability to balance dreamlike scenes with deeply tense plot lines earned her incredible respect from peers and the public alike. Despite her outward success, she continued to regularly suffer from debilitating bouts of depression and dramatic mood swings. Woolf's husband, Leonard, always by her side, was quite aware of any signs that pointed to her wife's descent into depression. He saw, as she was working on what would be her final manuscript between the acts, that she was sinking into deepening despair. At the time, World War II was raging on, and the couple decided if England was invaded by Germany, they would commit suicide together, fearing that Leonard, who was Jewish, would be in particular danger. In 1940, the couple's London home was destroyed during the Blitz, the Germans' bombing of the city. Unable to cope with her despair, Woolf pulled on her overcoat, filled its pockets with stones, and walked into the River Ouse on March 28, 1941. As she waded into the water, the stream took her with it. The authorities found a body 3 weeks later. Leonard Woolf had her cremated, and her remains were scattered at their home, Monk's House. Although her popularity decreased after World War II, Woolf's work resonated again with the new generation of readers during the feminist movement of the 1970s. Woolf remains one of the most influential authors of the 21st century.